Oh, g'day. Fancy seeing you here. You're actually just in time because I'm going to melt down some of the excess comb and wax for the first time ever. So we'll see how it goes. I've got 3 ice cream container loads. So let's go weigh it and see how much we've got. So in the grand scheme of things, I haven't got a hell of a lot compared to some beekeepers because A, I've got only one hive, and B, I've only been beekeeping since December 2024. But I've got 3 container loads of some of the burr comb and wax that I've been collecting. So let's just weigh it, see how much there is. Obviously, a bit of honey in there as well, so just give that a quick scrape out. Unfortunately, a few little casualties in there as well. But the filtering process will get all of this out and make it really pure. Wow, look at all that honey on the bottom of that. It smells amazing. Okay, and the 3rd container. There we go. And still a little bit of honey in that one as well. Okay, so just short of a kilo, 976 grams. That's not too shabby in the grand scheme. So let's melt it down. So I got all of my gear from a second-hand store. So I got a couple of pots and like a wooden spoon, spatula as well, plus some other bits and pieces, and I'll go through my equipment list later. But I got it all super cheap because it's, you know, stuff that's going to be used for beeswax, and it's best to do it outside as well because it can be very messy. And I'm pretty lucky that I've got a barbecue with a gas burner, so I can do this outside. If you don't have one of these though, and you want to keep it outside or in a shed, for instance, away from your kitchen, then a slow cooker will actually do the trick. So I've just pre-boiled some water, so we'll just chuck that in. You can see the wax already melting under the heat of that. And this is going to make a real messy sludge. There we go, that'll do. Okay, so the flame is going, and we'll just let that boil down, and I will use my 50-cent wooden spoon that I got from a second-hand store just to give it a stir, and it shouldn't take too long. So it's slowly but surely going. I don't know if I'll get it to a big boil, but you can see it's already sort of caking up, and there is a good layer of wax already starting to form above the water. So we'll just wait for all of that to completely melt down, and then we'll do the first filtration. Okay, so while that's boiling down, I'm just going to get the filtration stuff ready. So this here is a splatter screen. It's one of those screens that you put over the top of a frying pan so that the fat doesn't spit out all over you and make a mess in your kitchen. And then on top of that, and everyone has their own methods, but this is what I'm going to do. I went to a local craft shop and I bought what's almost like a bit of net curtain. It's like a poly mesh. And what I'm going to do is actually have a decent filter set up with that on top of the splatter screen. And then I'm just going to use some of these clothes pegs, which also double up as really decent clips, and just hold it on. And what I quite like is because it's not, it's flat and it's not bowed in like a sieve. It's not going to sit in the water or the wax when you pour it in. So that's a basic setup. And then this is what I'm just going to pour it through for the first filtration. I have been so super excited to do this. I can't believe I'm doing it. It's brilliant. I think I'm more excited about the end product. Right, I'm totally happy with that now, so it's time to do the first filtration. Right, so this is the pan I'm going to filter it into to start with. It's a non-stick pan. I don't know if that's going to make much of a difference, but it was another cheap purchase at the second-hand store. So sitting this on there, it's actually a bit too big, but because I don't fully trust it to stay on there, I'm just going to rubber band it on in the hope that it stays. So, bit of cardboard down as well, because I firmly believe happy wife, happy husband. I don't want to be making a mess on the deck, but this really is the only best surface to do it on. But anyway, cardboard is a good thing. Righto, so first filtration, here we go. Catching all the bee bits and all the rubbish and bits and pieces we don't want. Cool. That has worked a treat. So we'll just let that filter out a bit more. So 976 grams is what we weighed at the start. And to be honest, there's not a lot of that left up here. So we're going to get a few good little bricks at the end. So super happy about that. Oh, damn it. Idiot. This is why we put cardboard down. I told you I'll share all my mistakes on this channel. Okay, and now we let it sit. So in a nutshell, the filter has just cleared out some of this unwanted stuff, all the bits and pieces that are not wax. Unfortunately too, some of the bees that were caught up in that wax that didn't make it, well, they've been filtered out as well. So quite a clean job really. And the good thing is about this particular poly meshing is that even though the wax has kind of set on it, next time I put hot wax through it, because that is reusable a couple of times at least, once I put the next lot of hot wax through it, it'll just melt this, and happy days. So as we can see here now, so we've just got the layer of wax on the top. There is a second layer. I don't know if you can see it too well on here now, but there is a second layer under there, which is obviously all the water and some of the, maybe the other unwanted stuff that got through the filtration. So the underside of this, when it becomes a cake, once it's set, the underside might be a bit dirty. So we'll just do a second filtration and give it another clean. I love the pattern in the way it sets. How good's that? So some of the wax that I actually spilt onto the cardboard, all is not lost, because once it dries, I can salvage some of it. So I mean, it might take a if I'm being super picky, then I'll grab it all, but I think it's going to be pretty easy to salvage a majority of it off this cardboard, so I'm just going to do that. Right, so the wax is set now, so we can get this wax cake out. And you can see just how dirty it might be underneath, because it's likely going to need another melt down. Oh, I can't even get the thing out. It's quite solid actually, because this is, as I said, this is the first time I've done this. And it looks more solid than I expected it to be. Oh, there we go. Oh, it's pretty clean, eh? I think when I was watching it originally set, there were bits of honey in there. I think it still needs a little bit of cleaning because it's still quite gritty. But all in all, pretty happy with that. And also after my little spillage, I've managed to salvage some of the wax that I accidentally dropped. So I'll get these little bits out from around the outside of the pan here, and then we'll do another melt. Right, so melt 2.0. Alrighty, good second melt. Time now to filter it again. And I've come prepared this time for the rubber band so I don't spill wax everywhere. Right, so we'll just let that settle, and now we wait. Right, absolutely over the moon with how this has come out. It just looks so much cleaner. So what I'm going to do now is remove this. Oop. I'm going to remove this from here now. We're going to go for a third melt, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. Yeah, pretty clean. Still some bits and bobs on the bottom, but nothing I'm terribly worried about. Right, so for the third and final melt, what I'm going to do now is I'm simply boiling a pot of water, and I'm going to sit this one on top of it with no water in it whatsoever, much like what you do to melt chocolate. So I'll sit that on there and just let that melt on its own. So I got myself this, and this was like an absolute find at the second-hand store where I bought the pots and the pans, etc. And it's a silicone oven tray, which is absolutely the perfect size for the little bricks that I want to make. Now I have noticed as well that with the actual melt that I've just done, there is a tiny little bit of stuff still in it, so I'm going to try and filter it once more when I pour it in. I'm not expecting to fill all of these, but you never know. Yeah, so as I said, there's still some residue in here, so I'm hoping... Oh, it's not going well. I've still got a lesson to learn here, to be honest. Get myself a jug or something. Well, that's 3 filled. It's not bad going. I think there's better methods. I think I completely stuffed that up. I could have done a lot better. But at the end of the day, I achieved what I wanted to achieve. I've got a couple of clean wax blocks now, so we'll just see how they go when they set. Mess. This is an amateur, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, moment of truth. Let's break these out. Wow, look at that. I'm going to hazard a guess 770 grams. That could be a really, really bad estimate. Wow, I'm way off. 426 grams. So basically, we started off with 976. We're basically 550 grams off. Where the hell did I lose over half a kilo of wax? So we went from this to this. So the stars of the show in no particular order. Barbecue burner. Scales. Wooden spoon and spatula. Polymesh. Splash guard. Pan number 1. Pan number 2. Non-stick. And a nice oven tray, which is made of silicon, and we get these beautiful bricks of beeswax. And all of that cost me, all of this, cost me $15 from the second-hand shop. Apart from that, that's my wife's. So that wraps it up for episode 9. Thank you so much for watching. My first time ever melting down wax, and I'm super stoked with how it came out. 4 beautiful blocks that I can use for foundation when I buy more frames, and I'm kind of a fan of the plastic ones, so it'll be perfect for that. My oldest daughter, she's getting into candle making as well, so perfect. We may even use some of it for that too, and if we do, we'll film it because that'd be quite cool to watch. So all in all, happy. A 550 gram loss though, which I've been thinking about. I was a little bit confuddled to start with, but of course there'd be evaporation potentially, the debris that we filtered out. I did spill some as well, but also there would have been some honey weight in there too. So, but yeah, over half a kilo. That's kind of a weird one. That's a big loss. But look, can't complain. The bees have done a great job and now got some beautiful wax to show for it. So, thank you for watching episode 9. Be back with you for another episode very, very soon. Like and subscribe to the channel. Would really appreciate the support. And we'll catch you again soon. And I'll leave you with this thought for the day. I've been Andy G. This is Mind Your Buzzness. And don't cry over spilled wax. See ya.